People from across the world mourned the death of Queen Elizabeth II at the age of 96 on September 8th. The longest reigning monarch in British history died peacefully at Balmoral Castle, her summer residence in the Scottish Highlands. A 12-day period of national mourning ensued, leading up to her late Majesty's historic state funeral at Westminster Abbey in London, where she was also coronated and wed. Finally, on September 19th, the Queen was laid to rest at the King George VI Memorial Chapel during a private burial service. As confirmed by Buckingham Palace, she was interred beside her husband of 73 years, Prince Philip, along with her father, King George VI, mother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and sister, Princess Margaret. During the week-long mourning period, tens of thousands of people flocked to London to pay their last respects to Queen Elizabeth, including some famous faces like David Beckham, Susanna Reid, Holly Willoughby, Philip Schofield, and Sharon Osbourne. Tears were shed as the Queen's coffin, draped in the royal standard flag and bearing the imperial state crown, was driven in a somber procession through Scotland and London. Many hope to catch one final glimpse of the revered monarch, who has become quite the symbol and a cultural icon during her epic, decades-long reign. But as is customary in the British monarchy, Queen Elizabeth did not have an open casket during her state funeral and committal service on September 19th. This is because members of the royal family are typically buried in lead-lined coffins, which are to remain closed to prevent any moisture from getting in turn, help slow down the body's decomposition. Both Prince Philip and Princess Diana were also buried in similarly designed caskets, as were many royals before them, including Elizabeth I and Charles II, according to Westminster Abbey records. Plans for what was to happen after the death of Queen Elizabeth II had long been set and decided by the monarch herself, together with the government, local authorities, and the news media. Codenamed Operation London Bridge, it ranged from succession plans down to the very small details of her burial service, including her choice of coffin. Queen Elizabeth chose a coffin that was more than 30 years old and made of rare English oak. The Queen's casket was originally manufactured by the specialist firm Henry Smith and was inherited by J.H. Kenyon before Leverton and Sons took responsibility in 1991. Speaking to The Times, the firm's Andrew Leverton said, "It is made from English oak, which is very difficult to get hold of. It is not something you can just make in a day." Her late Majesty's coffin is estimated to weigh between around 500 and 700 pounds and had to be carried by 8 pallbearers instead of the normal 6. Aside from the royal standard flag and the imperial state crown, her late Majesty's coffin was adorned with other items from the royal family's crown jewels during her funeral service. The sovereign's orb and the sovereign's scepter with cross, which were given to the Queen during her coronation in 1953 when she ascended to the throne, were also placed on top of her casket. The jewels, of course, will be passed down to her eldest son now that King Charles III has succeeded to the throne. Special flower arrangements and a handwritten note from King Charles were also seen sitting atop her coffin. The floral wreath was a sweet reference to her late husband, Prince Philip, as it contained the same sprig of flowers from their royal wedding back in 1947. In addition, the wreath also included flowers and foliage from the gardens of Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, and Highgrove House, as well as rosemary for remembrance, English oak to symbolize the strength of love, and myrtle as a symbol of a happy marriage. For the flowers, scented blooms such as roses and dahlias were included and chosen in colors to reflect the royal standard. Tucked between the special floral arrangement was the handwritten note from Charles, which read, "In loving and devoted memory, Charles R." The R in his new signature means Rex, which is Latin for king.